Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone's Best Business Review. I'm Paulette. I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide, and you are in the Brownstone Worldwide studios for another amazing interview for our 50 Years of Hip Hop edition. I've got a special guest who's in the studio, and guys, this one is dear to my heart because this brother has been hanging and rocking with Brownstone Worldwide when we just had a radio station and nothing else. And he was always one of the first folks to come and hang out with us on Cullen's Corner. And now here we are with all of this media, and he's grown and he's doing his thing. And so we're super excited to have come back into the Brownstone community and into the family. None other than we knew him back then as Mikey J, but let's get into it. He's a two-time Grammy-nominated recording artist and music producer who also boasts 13 American Music Awards, as well as an astonishing 45 honor awards for his philanthropic contributions to the communities across America. Mikey J is not just a successful rapper and music producer, but he is also an accomplished actor, executive film producer, film financier, director, writer, and film producer. In 2016, Mikey J became the benefactor for the St. Jemuel Family Day Group, and in 2017 signed on as the benefactor for a start of a new home daycare. In 2015, Mikey J became a key sponsor for the African American Women in Cinema Film Festival and continues to be a sponsor and moderator to this day. He's also a civil rights activist, philanthropist, rapper, actor, director, film and music producer, and much, much more under his belt. Well, guys, that's not it, because in 2021, he himself was honored at the Radio and Records Awards as the 2021 Filmmaker of the Year and was awarded the 2021 Multimedia Person of the Year at the Journey Awards. Guys, all I can say is that it's safe to say that this gentleman is more than a mainstream rapper and actor or producer and director, or as I like to say, mogul. Listen, he is also a leader in taking guns off the streets of New York and New Jersey, as well as mediating and dissolving tensions between gangs and the youth under his organization, Dynamic Artists for Peace. Mikey J lives in his truth and does not hide his past, which he utilizes as a platform to deter others from becoming statistics and falling victim to the streets. He lives by his moniker. Behind every success story, there's an empowering story. Mikey J is not just a story, he is the story. And so now, so much has changed since then, because now he is Lord Michael Stephen Paul. And we're so honored to have him come to the stage with us today. Welcome, welcome, sir. Welcome back, first of all, to the Brownstone. So happy to have you come back and hang out with us for the Hip Hop Edition, and also to let us know about this film that you got going on. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Thank you for having me, and just the continuum of supporting me and myself in my career and my endeavors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been an amazing journey for you. And I will say this is that we've been watching you all along the way, and I'm sure that it is reciprocated as well. And so we've seen you grow from, one project to the other to the other. And so here you are, and you're getting ready. First of all, let's talk about this name change, because we have always known you as Mikey J, but now you're Lord Michael Stephen Paul. So there's a difference. So let's talk about that. What's that about?
Well, Mikey J was and it is still forever be my hip hop moniker,
Mm-hmm.
my stage name, Lord Michael Stephen Paul. Michael Stephen Paul is my government. First name Michael.
Mm-hmm.
My middle name and my baptism name is hyphenated Stephen Paul, and
Okay.
my last name is Jones. And I'm being presented a lordship December 10th by way of the Black Men Rock Image Awards,
Okay.
as well
Congratulations.
as thank you, as well as the 2023 Filmmaker of the Year, and I want the presidential the President's Lifetime Achievement Award, and the White House representative will be there in Suffolk, Virginia, December 10th to present me with that as well. The
Okay.
lordship is basically United Kingdom, Great Britain, London, England, lords and ladies, and it's a very distinguished title
Yeah.
that's only presented to those who are of esteemed
Mm-hmm.
status.
Mm-hmm.
And to be presented that, it's more than an honor. It's just a true blessing that for someone to be recognizing me as a Lord. Um,
Big deal.
I don't look for it, but I'm really appreciative of the honor.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. Now we're getting a little bit of a feedback there. And that's okay. We're going to work through this. We're going to work through this. Okay. We want to make sure that we're getting all of this interview. So listen, you are doing more film than you're doing anything right now. Is that right? Are you still producing music? Are you involved in any of the hip hop game anymore? Or has that expanded past that and you've taken that skill that you learned in the hip hop game and expanded it into what you're doing with film? Because I've seen you with the, carrying the camera, you're behind the camera, you're in front of the camera, you're producing all of these people, and you're filling a gap where there's room for everyone to grow and to develop. How did you start even deciding that you wanted to do that?
Um, I am definitely still heavy involved in not just my music career, but the music industry,
Mm-hmm.
or as a music producer, as a writer, um, as a consultant,
Yep.
and also my music personally, still heavily involved.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect to my music altogether, you asked when I got started, right?
Yep.
I got started. Wow, I'm 49. I'm
Wow.
50 on Christmas Day.
Okay.
So I got started the first time. I was watching a not it was a little bit before Video Music Box. Um, just around the same time MTV first launched, and there was a
Mm.
channel called U68,
Yeah.
and their slogan and moniker was U 68, and it was one of them channels that was on a snowy channel, and then
Yeah.
it came on. When it went off, you was back to in Christmas season again. So
Right.
I got a
Right.
chance to see Herbie Hancock and Run
Mm.
DMC on that channel, Rockbox and stuff like that. So hip hop for me started between U68, Video Music Box with VJ
Yep.
Rock Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really where it started. The New York Hot Tracks came, and then I was listening to like before it was hot, it was 92 WKTU,
Mm-hmm.
and then DJ Red Alert, Kid Capri, Ron
Yeah.
G. So that's where all my hip hop
Yeah.
started from. The culture, the culture itself really started for me when I first saw KRS-One do his video My Philosophy in my
Yeah.
neighborhood. And that's when I really started becoming not a b-boy, so to speak, but more so hip hop culture, knowledge, culture,
Yeah.
wisdom. I was being cultivated
Yeah.
into a blackness that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And so when I seen My Philosophy being shot, he had the Wrangler outside the homeless shelter and everything. I remember that day as if it was like yesterday. And
Right.
just to be part of that music video being shot, that was the very first time I was entrenched in
Mm-hmm.
in the physical aspect of being involved in hip hop, and not even as an artist, but as a spectator and
Yeah.
becoming inspired by KRS One, and then you had groups like X Clan, you had groups like
Mm-hmm.
Public Enemy, and then when groups like Paz de Noose and Maceo, which is De La Soul, and
Yes.
Arrested Development, that did it for me. And the Far Side, like that
Yeah.
did it for me on a conscious level.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you, when you take the Far Side, Public Enemy, and Arrested Development, that was the first time. And S Clan, that's the first time I started wearing the African medallions We all
Really?
wore those to school, yeah. So this clothing company called Cross Colors was out,
Yep.
and I would go to school with the Cross Colors 3/4 with with the I had a low Caesar, so
Yeah.
I had a half moon,
I remember.
and I had the African. It was a black medallion with the with
Hmm.
Africa. It
Hmm.
was leather black with the African colors.
Hmm.
That was
Hmm.
my first time really knowing knowledge, self, and
Yeah.
being cultivated into not just the hip hop of Run DMC and LL Cool J, but
Hmm.
the conscious side of hip hop.
Yeah.
Common, Common, even Nas. So, you know,
Absolutely.
all those groups back then really paved the way for me mentally and spiritually because they woke up a conscious asleep a
Absolutely.
consciousness that was asleep in a lot of people.
Yep.
And when you listen to, Arrested Development, Far Side, and Black Moon, and all these other cultural conscious um, waking
Hmm.
groups,
Hmm.
that for me is where I say, okay, I could do more than gangster rap. I could do more than street rap. I could do more
Absolutely.
than relationship rap, but for the ladies. Now I could speak about not just blackness, but social disenfranchisement
Yeah.
and so forth, you know?
Yeah. 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 Wow. That is amazing. And so, first of all, I'm honored. Most people don't know this, and I don't like to make a big deal out of it. But when you hear that the impact of what you've done, myself personally, for the entertainment industry and for those folks, it's more than just entertainment. And I think what you're saying is that you had a voice that you wanted to be heard about more than just the regular run of the mill street women, cars, the ball
Yes.
and all of that. You wanted to have, you know, what even the group I was with, Arrested Development, and what we were doing at the time, trying to at least tell people to stay thirsty, if you will. And so with that, you have moved forward and not so much graduated from hip hop itself, but because what we know, what we recognize and see is that hip hop has transpired everything. It's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
From movies to how we think, to how we move, how we dance, and how we talk.
Yeah.
Like Webster's dictionary is starting to put some of the phrases that came from our era in the dictionary, and they are
Yeah.
official words, if you will, as if they weren't already. And so when you see the history, because let's talk about this, brother, you are history. You're walking, breathing, existing history right now. And there's going to come a time where people are going to look back on what you've done, and they're going to say, well, how did he do that? So that's the question that I have for you. How did you do that? Because you could have stayed in one lane and you could have said, all right, I'm just going to stay over here and I'm going to produce and I'm going to continue to keep winning these Grammys and doing whatever. But no, you picked up a camera and you started making films. What woke you up one morning to make you say, okay, there's more to this and I want in? What happened?
In retrospect to film, for me, it was still doing what I was doing as a hip hop artist, which is tell a story,
Yeah.
but tell my story and tell the stories of others who've told their stories to me,
Hmm.
or stories that I have observed, whether
Yeah.
it was racial bias or colorism,
Hmm.
sexism,
Hmm.
womanism,
Hmm.
you name it, things that I've witnessed personally and or heard.
Yeah.
And for me, when I'm on stage, I always pray before I start a show.
Yeah.
I brought that same mantra of praying, I brought my same mantra when it comes to praying to my film set.
Hmm.
And when I'm on that stage, I don't just tell the story. I want the crowd to comprehend, not
Yeah.
understand. Because if you understand, then you don't have the full comprehension of what I'm
Yeah.
doing my best to get you to overstand, which means you receive the information that I'm giving
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
And Brother Malcolm X, he's the one that really did it for me as a
Mhm.
filmmaker when he went to Mecca and he saw Latinos, white men,
Wow.
black men, Indian,
Mhm.
um, all walks of life praying together.
Yeah.
And that's what made it easy for me to say, you know what, we can all do this together. And I can tell the stories of everyone
Yeah. I love
if
that.
it's told to me. So
Yeah.
for me, filmmaking is a hip hop story. Filmmaking to me is a hip hop story
Yeah.
brought to a 100-foot screen
Mm.
or your iPhone
Mhm.
by way of Hulu, Netflix, Tubi, Dame Dash Studios,
Yeah.
American New.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yes, I caught that. It's all
But,
good. It's good. Yeah.
but you know, if I'm allowed to continue to tell stories, fact, fiction, or the third, which is a lot of people keep forgetting that behind
Mhm.
every bit of fiction there's fact.
Yeah.
As long as I'm able to continue that journey and be allowed to tell stories of from the heart and the
Mhm.
mind,
Mhm.
then I will continue to do that. Especially when it comes to hip hop. Hip hop has so many stories that have not been told yet.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, look at Rakim.
Mm.
Look at the Far Side. Look at look, people. I did not know that this was Paulette from Arrested Development. That's that's one of the songs that is my top five groups
Yeah.
of consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, and when I spoke to her, I was like, yo, I'm starstruck. And listen, I was starstruck. You know, so even when I've made it past a certain level,
Yeah.
here I am touring with Dana Dane, Nice and
Mm.
Smooth.
Yes.
I'm in the studio with KRS One, and who's become a great friend, and
Mm.
Grandmaster Melly Mel, Grandmaster Caz, all these legends of hip hop, Roxanne Shante, you name it.
Yes.
People that I was a kid, like, yo, bopping, breakdancing to their music,
I
whatever.
know. I know. I
Here
know.
I am with people like Reggie Reg from the Crash Crew,
Yeah.
like Rodney C from the Funky Four plus one more, like,
Mm.
and then I cannot forget my brother Fat Joe.
Mm.
Now, that's a whole different situation because Joey watched me grow up. That's my big brother, his
Yeah.
mom, the whole family. That's my family.
Mm.
That's my family, and I just love Joe for his guidance. Anything I ever asked him, anything he did his best to instill within me about loyalty
Yeah.
and respect and stuff like that. So when people speak about Terror Squad, do not speak to me about Terror Squad music. Speak to me about Terror Squad family, and
Love
that's
it.
what I am.
Yeah.
So it's just an honor to even to hey listen man, shameless plug to even know that Paulette is Arrested Development. That means I'm filling bucket list, so to speak. You know.
I love it. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And here's the thing, and we Omar Salgado and I talked about this, how blessed, how much of a blessing it is to literally be at this point where we all got breath in our bodies still to this day, but we were so impactful in the music that has changed the way that America wears their clothes, the way that they talk, the way that they walk. The culture itself has permeated just about every aspect of life that there is. And now here we are, like you said, you're going to be 50 this year, and I just sat here and my oldest child is getting ready to be 34. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So listen, when I when I talk about
Yeah.
the fact that we were on tour with my daughter at the time and we were performing, and I would have to have, one of the road managers like hold her off to the side until we were done performing. And to think that we've gone on and become business owners and filmmakers and educators, and now we're working in the regular public sector, and we're now a part of just regular society. To think that we made history and we're here to still tell about it, And that's one
Yeah.
thing that we can't take away from what we've done. You know, I was reading your accolades and I was like, oh my God, I can't finish this. We're gonna have to put this in the magazine because you've done so much, and we all have. And so here you are, and you're at this point now where honestly you are like a godfather of sorts, because now you're taking the knowledge and the information that you have and you're passing that on to other people, so that number one, they'll make the same mistakes that you did. Because let's talk about it. Let's keep it real with these last 4 or 5 minutes that we have. Let's be honest. We all made some mistakes when we first got in that music industry, be it doing something stupid on stage, not understanding your contracts, to maybe not getting paid what you were worth, or understanding that, you know what, there's some money out there for you and you need to go get it, which is what happened to me.
Mhm.
What would you say to those young folks who are coming up in hip hop? They want to be a part of the game. Two things. One, the hip hop music has changed. It's not as conscious as it was back in the day. How do we, as the elders in the game now, at least try to get some folks to start talking about what we need to be hearing to feed the spirit, the soul, and the mind? But then also, how do you take that information from what you got when you were coming up as a young kid in the industry, and transpose that to people who are acting in your films and also in the studios and things of that nature, where they are protecting themselves? How do you see yourself impacting those folks?
Well, Grandmaster Melly Mel gave us White Lines. He
Yeah.
gave us The Message.
Yep.
Public Enemy gave us Welcome to a Terror Dome.
Mm.
Black Moon gave us the Black Moon album. Nas gave us Illmatic. Arrested Development gave us a great album. So hip hop has always transitioned
Yeah.
musically to other levels,
Yeah.
and it's the same way we were embraced as hip
Hmm.
hop artists.
Hmm.
We have to embrace the other hip hop artists
I
who are
love that.
true, who are true to the form, who are
Mm.
true to the culture, who are not utilizing the culture a a gimmick, and who are not weaponizing the culture as
Mm.
well. Because
Mm.
when you weaponize the culture, you separate society, and
Yeah.
and Brother Malcolm X, once again, you know, when he went to Mecca on his pilgrimage, when he saw all those different genders and no, not creeds and ethnicities praying together
Yeah.
under one God,
Hmm.
he came back on a whole different level and did his due diligence by letting everyone know that he prayed with the blue-eyed man and so forth.
Hmm.
So you cannot weaponize music. Once you
Yeah.
weaponize music, you start to program people to the
Yeah.
weaponization of what you're doing and the destruction of man.
Mm.
So I like the hip hop that is fulfilling to the soul,
Hmm.
that feeds the mind
Yeah.
positively and righteously and cleanses the spirits and the hearts.
Yeah.
The So when you got these hip hop artists out here disrespecting not just black women but white women,
Yeah.
all women,
Yeah.
because people got to remember now, a lot of hip hop money was made through the Asians and the white communities,
That part.
especially in the rural areas.
Yep.
And people are oblivious to the fact that white American youth are influenced by hip hop, especially gangsterdom, the
Yep.
disrespecting of women. So now you got a little white kid named Billy from Cleveland, Ohio, Cincinnati,
Hmm.
Ohio. He just killed his white girlfriend because she didn't have his dinner ready, and he
Mm.
called her out of her name, and he killed. So when you have these type of lyrics being spat out lyrically, and
Yeah.
these youths are listening to this, and even the adults who are ignorant for the lack of education, knowledge, wisdom, and the cultivated comprehension of life.
Hmm.
Music can do one or two things. It can heal the spirit and the soul, or it
Yes.
can destroy any
That
and everything
part. Mm.
that it touches mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And
Wow.
that's why when it comes to my films, I am not out here to put out films that are degrading of any man or any woman,
Mm-hmm.
that are, what's the word, janky.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put out films that are of the Martin Scorsese's, the Steven Spielbergs, the Ron
Love
Howards,
it.
Spike
Yeah.
Lee's, you know, spirit films that are not just gonna have a message or be
Yeah.
entertaining, but
Mm-hmm.
films that gonna be like just that Pulp Fiction cult, like
I
Gordon
got
Parks
you.
taking
Yeah.
them still photos forever. So I just tell my cast, a lot of my cast are musicians and
Mm-hmm.
models as well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as well as actresses and actors. I tell them the truth. I tell them, don't look for a quick payday in any of these industries.
Come on now. Yep.
If you're looking for a quick payday, UPS is hiring.
Yes.
McDonald's is hiring $17 an hour, $19 an hour. Music and film, although they are two separate entities,
Mm-hmm.
they are a slow moving process that can either take 1 year, 5 years, or even, hey, 10, 15 years. But
Right.
you cannot rush the process, which is God's process.
Yeah.
You
I
have to
agree.
allow the process to work itself.
Yeah.
And you cannot be afraid to invest in yourself. And that's another problem. A lot of artists and a lot of actors do not want to pay for photo shoots, videos, um, and I mean, and PR. And that's not good. You could be popping in your city or in your county, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You're
So
so right.
I just do my best to instill the knowledge and wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and cultivated comprehension of things that I've observed and been through to all walks of life that I come
Mm-hmm.
across, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's in my films or artists that want to open up for me.
Right.
Some take it and they run with it and
Mm-hmm.
they're very grateful, and some continue to bump their heads or jump out the window with no parachute. But
Right.
I myself, I learned from the mistakes of EPMD
Yeah.
and Ashford and Simpson
Mm-hmm.
and the Rolling Stones,
Mm-hmm.
with Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. I
Yeah.
learned from other people's mistakes. Only thing that I had to get a hold on was myself. I was
Mm-hmm.
blocking my blessings by beating up bouncers and security, and
Wow.
yeah, I was on a whole different trip because I
Right.
felt
Right.
like, I wasn't being respected, so I came
Yeah.
with the street mentality as
Mm-hmm.
if you're not going to respect me on your own accord, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna respect me on my accord. So
Right.
I had to really get a grasp on that reality
Mm-hmm.
that you got to keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
It's not worth going to jail, prison, central booking, or for that matter, you really making yourself lose a lot of money. So I just do my
Exactly.
best to instill everything that I've been through, any mistakes that I've made,
Mm-hmm.
and I do my best to pass it on.
I love it. I love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what happens when we grow, when we mature, and we acknowledge the mistakes that we've made along the way. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And so, shout out to you for that, most definitely. So, before we wrap, let's talk about your new film that you're working on with Anya Films. Tell us about Colorblind.
Well, first off, thank you for saying the name right, Anye. Thank you. I'm gonna tell my son when I get home. Miss
I love it.
Paulette said your name correctly.
I love it.
So my company name is Anye Film Group. We're a global film company,
Mm-hmm.
and I have subsidiaries. So my subsidiary is Anye Media Group, which is a
Yeah.
television arm, and Natty Wood Films, which I started in Cincinnati, Ohio, for my Midwest division. So I shot 4 films down here, including Colorblind, and I have to be honest with everyone out there. This is the best version of this film that I have shot.
Really?
Yes, I was focused in, but I was more locked in, focused, and laser sharp tunnel vision because I felt that I was Jesus Christ didn't care about his haters, and
No.
I do my best to follow that lead. Like, I don't care about my haters, but when you have people who are being blatant
Mm,
with it, that's when I said, all right, I'm gonna show you.
mm.
And I went and when I tell you this film is going to spark up conversations, not just about the content of the film,
Mm-hmm.
but how it was shot, what
Mm-hmm.
was shot, who
Yeah.
was shot.
Yeah.
These actors were locked, loaded, and ready. And from Mark Webber to Emerald, I coached them, I directed them,
Yeah.
gave them the character descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
and they ran with it.
I love it. I
And they
love it.
ran with it. And when I tell you this film is going to spark conversations in the gay community, in the
Mm-hmm.
heterosexual community, in the racist communities, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about racism in the black community and the white community,
Okay.
because racism and being colorblind is not just about color. You
Yeah.
have people who are racist and bigoted against people who don't have the same financial status as
That
someone
part.
else. Who,
Classism.
who,
Yeah.
who,
That's a
who
thing.
may, exactly, who may not look like someone who is beautiful as or handsome as the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So this film is about colorism, sexism, womenism, gay rights, human rights, civil rights, you name it. And when I tell you that this cast, and this is the first time I'm going to state this, I was going to walk away
Mm.
from the rest of this film because of the foolishness that I was going through with a lot of the actors, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I got Mark Webber,
Mm.
and thank you to Nate Brown.
Okay.
Thank you to Nate Brown for posting that casting call in that group.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, when I got Mark Webber,
Mm-hmm.
when I got Emerald,
Mm-hmm.
when I got Robbie Adams, when I got Wesley Fane,
Yeah.
and now Liana Baptiste and
Mm-hmm.
every other actor that's in this film, when I tell, and Wilhelmina Ham,
Yeah.
can't forget Miss Willie, can't forget
Mm-hmm.
Miss Greta. When I tell you that this film,
Mm-hmm.
this is my baby right here.
Okay.
All my other films are my babies. But Daddy always
This
got
one?
that daddy's little girl. This is
Okay.
daddy's little girl. Because
Okay.
this is the film that made me want to continue to film.
Okay. Okay.
This is the film. And this version, oh man, I am so happy. I'm happier than the kid on Christmas with everything on the tree he wants, you know?
Yeah.
So
I love
I'm
it.
looking forward to it. It's going to spark up a lot of controversy. Mark Webber plays Bradley L. Chapman, and when I tell
Mm-hmm.
you he is the best, and I'm putting this out globally for the first
Mm-hmm.
time, not taking away from the last Bradley. I'm
Yeah.
not. He was great, but he wasn't this.
I got you. And that's
Sinister,
okay. Yeah.
dark, is amazing, and I gotta give it up to Emerald. Bella Ray played the last Christina. She
Mm-hmm.
was Christina, and when you got Bella Ray's approval
Mm-hmm.
outside of mine,
Mm-hmm.
Paulette, when I tell you I can't wait to get this thing edited.
Uh-oh. This is gonna be
Yes,
good.
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
when is the release? When can we expect to see it? Is it going to be in the 2024 season or
Yes.
okay?
Yes. I wanted to give a tentatively release date, a tentative release date, January 2024.
Yeah.
But I gotta push it back because of some filming we have to finish,
Okay.
and I don't want to rush greatness.
I heard that. I love
The,
it.
the trailer will be out the second week in November.
Okay.
There will be a rap party and a trailer release party. I'm
Excellent.
doing one in New York, Cleveland, and definitely Atlanta,
I'm on Atlanta.
and North Carolina.
Excellent.
And the film, it may come out February, it may come out March, but it will
Okay.
be coming out this year. Hopeless Romantic, a Michael Stephen and Paul love story, is
Mhm.
coming out October 27th through Dame Dash's American New Network.
Okay.
So I pushed the release date back for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of my babies.
Mm-hmm.
My first, what do you call it? Wholesome family love story film. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud of everything. Keys and Cuffs,
You should
Evil,
be.
my movie, my film, Madame. I'm happy. So, and I
Yeah.
got four. Let me see. That's 10 other films to do, and two TV series.
Wow. So you're going to be busy. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
all heard it first. This brother is going to stay busy. It sounds like Mr. Weber and all these other folks are going to stay busy as well. Listen, let's talk really quick about where we can find you. I know we talked about you had two separate
Yeah.
social media pages. So let's talk about your stage name that I met you through, and it's your social media for that is Mikey J NYC. Let's stop there. But
Yes.
you have an actor's page. And
Yes.
that actor's page is Lord Michael Stephen dash Paul. Lord Michael Stephen with a V dash Paul. So you're gonna take that Lord, you're gonna put it on there, and I don't blame you. What I really want to say, first of all, shout out to you and everything that you're doing and what you've continued to do over the years. I have seen you grow from where we first met. It's going on, oh my God, it's got to be 12 years.
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't even seem like it's been that long, but it has.
Hmm.
And just really seeing how you've grown and how your business has grown, and now you're working with you've never stopped working with the people that you have, but now you're really putting your name and your stamp out there, and I could not be more proud to see the growth and the development that you have shown and you shared, because one thing that you've never been afraid of is letting people know who you are and what you do. You know how some people kind of shy away, oh no, not you, no, no, no. And that's um a great place to be, and a great quality to have, because most of us, we shy, we don't want people to know who we are and what we're doing, but you have so many different stories to tell. And most definitely, being a part of the brownstone for as long as you have, you come to us and we're going to help you tell those stories. Are there any last words before we wrap? I have been asking everyone this question before we wrap. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Wow. Um. Wow. Whew, that's brown sugar.
Mm, uh-huh.
Oh man. It was a song,
Okay.
and it was Rakim. It was Rakim. It was Rock. It was. Can I cheat?
Can you what?
Can I cheat?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Careless One.
Yeah.
The Bridge is Over,
Ah, yes.
and
Yeah.
it was Rock Kim's Not Check Out My Melody, Not Paid in Full. I came in the door. I said it before.
Before, never let
Never
the
let the
mic
mic
magnify
magnify me more
anymore.
because it's biting me, biting me.
Give me a rhyme. Yeah.
Those two songs right there
Wow.
is when I fell in love with hip hop. Don't know
Mm.
where I was at. I know I was in Forest Projects, 1020 Trinity Avenue, apartment
Okay.
13E.
Mm-hmm.
But those two songs
Yeah.
did it for me right there. That's when I fell in love with hip hop. And immediately after that, Run DMC, Peter Piper Pick Peppers, and One Rap
Remember
Rhymes,
that?
Humpty Dumpty Fell
Yes.
Down.
Yeah.
Now, when did I fall out of love with hip hop? Can I answer that?
Whoa. Yes, you can.
I fell out of love with hip hop when people started taking it for a come up.
Mm.
When people started taking it for a come up, and I'm speaking about a lot of the rappers out there who didn't respect the culture, just was trying to get a check. That's when
Mm.
I fell out of love with hip hop. But
Yeah.
then groups like Arrested Development, The Far
Mm-hmm.
Side,
Mm-hmm.
Common,
Mm.
all these DOS effects,
Yeah.
they brought me back. And then I fell out of love again when people were
Oh.
doing the same thing and they got worse with the mumble rap.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But I came back, I fell back in love permanently after listening to P. Diddy's Puff Daddy's Love album
Mm.
and a few other Nas's album,
Yes.
50. So that's when I'm back in love with hip hop, and that's why my music sounds the way it still sounds, because I never put out nothing when I wasn't in love with hip hop.
Mm. I love that. I love it. Wow. Mikey J, y'all, excuse me, Lord Michael Stephen Paul, ladies and gentlemen, in the building. Listen, we are so happy that you could come in here and hang out with us and take time out of your busy schedule to let us know all the ins and
Oh,
outs of who you are. Yeah.
it's Mikey JAYNYC.
Okay. JAY.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we're going to
I'm
change
sorry.
that. Not a problem. Not a problem. We're going to change that just like I had to do for Mr. Weber. It's okay. JAY. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the same thing for him. So listen,
Hey,
we're going
look,
to change this right
I'd rather take that than MICKEY.
now.
But I'm sorry. You can finish.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. It's all good. It's all good because we're wrapping up now. But we want to thank you for coming to hang out with us and being on the cover of Brownstone Living magazine for the 50 years of hip hop
Yo,
edition.
I'm
That's
psyched. I'm
good.
still psyched.
Yeah.
Can I give a shout out to?
Yep.
I have to give a shout out to my photographer,
Mm-hmm.
the love of my life, the one who makes me look great.
Yeah.
Covers and everywhere else is Bella Ray Bond.
Got
Bella
it.
Bella Bond Bella Ray Bella Bond Media Group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my PR team,
Yeah.
Adrian, um, Nicole, Catherine Rosen, and big shout out to Cullen. Big shout out to you.
Yeah. Big shout out to
Um,
Colin. Yeah.
big shout out to the Brownstone Living community,
Mm.
and to the last lady who's on the cover prior to this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Valley Island.
I read her. I read it. I loved it. So big shout
Yeah.
out to everybody who
Yeah.
was before me on this cover. I'm honored, and I'm looking forward to even doing a meet and greet with me on the cover.
Oh, that would be awesome. We're here for it. You already
Let's
know.
do it.
Let's make it happen. All right, everybody. Once again, we have Lord Michael Stephen Paul or Mikey J, depending on who you would like to call him by, but he answers to both. Listen, we are so honored to have you here, but we got to get out of here. I've got a ton of things to do, and so do you. But we, again, are excited to have you again, a part of the Brownstone. Welcome
Thank you.
home once again, Mikey J. And listen, folks, it's been real. We'll see you around.